Welcome to Media Schmedia, everybody. Barrett and Baxa here with you, and we're trying a new relaxed version of the show today.
Yes.
For no particular reason.
Just because we can. It's our show. We can do whatever we want.
And we're going to do whatever we want.
It was getting a little overproduced, so we're just going to do it a lot more.
This is the unproducing of Barrett and Baxa.
This is unproduced, much looser. I was out of town. I went to visit my sister and her husband. We went to the Mets game last night. That Citi Field in New York is awesome. The modern baseball fit, like a modern baseball game. When I was a kid, baseball games were boring. And now I guess they realize baseball is a boring sport. So there's so much. First of all, I didn't realize this. There's timers. Everything is now timed, which to me, I know this is not brand new. I know this has been like this for a while, but it's brand new to me. Everything is now timed. The pitcher has 15 seconds from when the ball hits the catcher's glove. Catcher throws it back, timer starts, and it's right there. He has 15 seconds to throw the next pitch. And then
no more goofing around on the mound?
No, and I mean, pitchers used to take 5 minutes between pitches.
I remember that.
Fucking around with the rosin and walking around. There's 30 seconds between batters. When the game goes to extra innings, listen to this one. This was cool. If the game goes to extra innings, the team starts with a man on second base. They put a man on second base. So you have a man in scoring position. If a guy hits a single, boom, they score a run, and then the next team gets it.
They're not messing around. They're trying to get people into these stadiums.
Yes, and it was sold out, and the Mets won. It was a good game, so it was fun.
Well, this is not a sports podcast.
No, we're going to stop talking about
what we are going to talk about is first thing we're going to do is we're going to go down a rabbit hole with Tucker Carlson and Candace Owens.
Yes.
Then we're going to talk about a Nazi in blue jeans. I'm sure you can guess who the Nazi in blue jeans is. It is not Lizzo. I'll give you a hint.
No.
Bob and I are going to debate the Cincinnati Beatdown. I've got some video, Bob, that you haven't seen yet of the Cincinnati Beatdown, and maybe it's going to change your mind. You know I like changing your mind.
You do.
And a Florida man goes crazy on Caitlin Bennett. We like Caitlin Bennett. She's got some cool stuff. And it's a man in DeLand, Central Florida. He goes nuts. Really? Yeah. We're going to do that. All right. Media Schmedia, roll the open.
Welcome to Barrett and Baxa, Media Schmedia. Everyone else has a podcast, why not us? Come along and join the chosen few as we mock the media and ridicule the ridiculous. Get ready as we excite the ears, irritate the eyes, and tantalize the taste buds. Okay, maybe not the taste buds, but you get the point. Let's get the party started. Here's Steve Barrett and Bob Baxa.
Look, we're starting with high-low again. Bob, do you even have a high-low? Were you prepared for this podcast at all today?
Not really. I could come up with a high. The high is going to the Mets game last night. That was very good. And the low was going to the Mets game last night because there's New Yorkers there. So you have to deal with a lot of New Yorkers, and people are very, very loud.
So you were in the city, huh?
Yeah, I guess I mean, it's Queens, so yeah, that is part of New York City. I mean, to me, the city is Manhattan, and for most people, the city means Manhattan.
Although Brooklyn, you go wander around Brooklyn, you feel like you're in Manhattan. A lot of those
Queens
areas.
Is New York City. I mean, that is just as much New York City as Manhattan, but a lot of people don't think of it that way. But anyway, so that's the high and the low.
All right,
and
I think my low is. Where pet peeves is at the end, Bob.
Later. I'll have one also from the game.
I've got one.
I caught a pet peeve at the game.
All right, we're going to do pet peeves today. I guess my low is that I haven't seen the kids or the grandkids in a while, and it's starting to get like, all right, I need to go exploring my kids. So that's kind of my low. My high, though, is that Bob Jordan interview. Turned out really, really good. If you didn't listen to the Bob Jordan interview, last week's show, episode 23 of Barrett and Baxa Media Schmedia, it's not a bonus episode, but take a look at it. We got a lot of new subscribers. YouTube's kind of the place for us. People really like us on YouTube. Although I get a kick out of, like, there's a moment where you and Bob are talking about Trump, and he kind of gets fatherly and
Yes.
and has a conversation. People are commenting that, oh, I couldn't believe it when he really gave it to Baxa.
I know.
And I'm like, well, number one, it wasn't that big of a gotcha. And number two,
No.
I don't get from you that you get really offended when people disagree with your stance.
I don't care. I don't care. And most of my Trump love is done to annoy those people. I mean, it's so funny how
You're saying that you
easy-
overlove sometimes?
I overlove Trump just to piss you off. And it's so easy. Like the mission is you make it so easy. Because just today, in fact, I just saw a headline, Trump's plans for ballroom enrage his critics. And the headline cracked me up because which thing that Trump has ever done in 10 years did not enrage his critics? Like everything enrages
Right.
Trump's critics. Everything. Trump's choice of breakfast cereal enrages his critics. How dare he choose Cocoa Puffs? I mean, he clearly should have chosen Rice Krispies. I mean, they get enraged about everything.
And
it's
they think
unbelievable.
and while you are very animated and you use, what did we say, colorful language?
Yes,
Or what was the term we had for your language? I like it.
Oh yeah, I forget what that was.
Unique
was it
language
colorful?
or something
Yeah.
like that.
Right. But I don't care. I don't give a shit about Trump. I don't know Trump. I mean, seriously. I think he's fine. I think he does a good job. I actually do love his style. But here's the thing. When I get on a plane, I don't say to myself, gosh, I wonder if the pilot's cheating on his wife. If I'm getting heart surgery, I don't say to myself, I wonder if the heart surgeon is a dick to his neighbor. Like,
And uses
who
foul
gives-
language sometimes.
And uses bad language. And I hope the heart surgeon never grabbed a woman by her vagina. Like, who cares? I care if he can do the job. Trump does a good job, in my opinion. I don't give a shit about his character. And it's so bizarre to me how much you people are.
See, I give you my high-low,
obsessed.
and you go off on a
I know.
Trump rant.
Well, you brought up
Just
Trump
from
and Bob Jordan.
high-low. I know.
I
see what
love the
happened?
Bob Jordan.
No,
That
it was a good interview.
Yeah,
and
we
and
let
I
him
do
talk.
recommend any journalists out there that haven't listened to him. I mean, it was a good. We really kind of got into his mind a little bit. You know,
And the funny thing with Bob is as soon as you save something, then Bob would go into like a 12-minute
Because
soliloquy about that thing. He
has
does
an
love
opinion and a
Yes.
method to everything that he
everything,
does.
yes.
Like whether it's giving you, like I loved it when he said, you know, I give out my compliments sparingly because then if you give too many compliments, then you're just complimenting everything, and the compliment that you give doesn't really mean that much. I thought,
Yep.
I guess I hadn't heard that from him before, and I thought, wow, that's really cool. Anyway,
And you know,
All right.
let me just say real quick, because I still remember this. It was a morning meeting, and you sat in on him, where periodically he would literally play that day's show on the big screen.
Yes,
and he
all
would
the
sit there.
time.
Yeah, and he would critique the producers, the photogs. He would critique the editing, whatever.
the active stand-ups, all of that.
Right.
Yeah.
So that day there had been a huge closure. Like I-4 was completely shut down, like massive problem. So here comes my traffic report, and I do the report, and I did do a very good job. And when it was over, Bob goes, perfect. Absolutely perfect. You get the only A+ today. And it was like the greatest
I didn't
moment
get
of
an
my
A+
life.
that day?
I don't think you
I
did.
didn't
I
get
think
one.
I only I got an A+, and it was so
Well, you are
awesome.
you're one of the smarter traffic reporters I've ever known.
It's like saying
among traffic reporters.
you're the skinniest kid at fat camp or something when you say that. It's not all that good of a compliment. You know, sorry. All right. Anyway, let's get into media.
Media Schmedia. So podcasting is fun, and I find this the first thing that this clip that I'm going to play right now. I find it very interesting because these are two people in the podcasting world that came to the podcasting world very separately, very differently, but yet now they're talking to each other on a very popular podcast, which is, I mean, I guess you'd call them a podcast. Everybody just kind of calls it the Tucker Carlson show or something on YouTube. But this,
I think he transcends podcast. I mean, he's Tucker Carlson. He's like his own thing. He's so famous. I mean,
right. So we're going to start with a clip, and then we're going to talk about what they're talking about, because it's absolutely amazing what they're talking about, and it's crazy that this is happening. But I'm going to play the beginning of the show. This is the very beginning of Tucker Carlson's show on YouTube, and we're just going to listen and up until his little tease is over.
I'm so grateful that you're here. Thank you. I'm so excited.
With child number 4 in tow, who's just off camera. What is going on with Macron?
I mean, it's the craziest thing that's ever happened, certainly in my life. It's been repeatedly crazy, from the Trump call to the lawsuit. I didn't even know.
Can you just back up a little bit for those who don't know what you're referring to, the Trump call? What does that mean?
So I was called by Trump in February. Emmanuel Macron had visited Trump, and I had done this series about, it was about his wife, Brigitte Macron. And the series got a lot of views, and Emmanuel Macron personally flew to DC and asked Trump to ask me to shut up, to just stop speaking about his wife. And
Did you know this was going to rise to the level of international incident?
No. And it's actually making me go back, and historically I'm thinking, you know, all the times we were told that a war ended because of this or because of that. If this was one element of negotiation of Emmanuel Macron to Trump, and the topic of why he was, you know, ostensibly there was to discuss the end of the Ukrainian and Russian war, but you're taking Trump aside and you're asking him to shut up this podcaster in the U.S., I'm wondering if anything that we're told in our history books is real.
Such a good point.
It needs some explaining here. So you're listening to Candace Owens talk about a phone call that she got, I think, in February from Donald Trump, and it was a message from the French president. Like, imagine that. A podcaster does a podcast.
Macron. Yep.
What this podcast was about was she was interviewing someone, I think it was a French author.
Journalist.
Journalist who wrote a book about Brigitte Macron being a man, being born a man, and someone who transitioned. And it is an absolutely crazy story. And really what happened is Donald Trump calling up Candace Owens opened up a can of worms and like brought this to the attention of the whole world, that there are claims that Brigitte Macron is a transitioned woman.
Yes.
And was born a man.
And I mean, me and you said, when we were talking on the phone about this, what better way, like, obviously this sounds insane. If Macron had just laughed about it and said, oh my God, these people, what crazy thing will they say next, these crazy people? Everyone would have been like, yeah, that's so crazy. Yeah. By the president of France, this is not just some guy, like Candace says later in the interview. This is the president of a nuclear-armed country, one of our strongest allies. He takes the time out of his day to talk to Donald Trump and tell Donald Trump, can you please make this podcaster stop saying this thing about my wife? All that accomplishes is that everyone is now like, holy shit, this is real.
Yeah.
Like, this is clearly real.
A little backstory, there are questions about why aren't there pictures of you pregnant with your children? Why aren't there pictures of you as a young girl, like when you were in school? And the weird thing is, this I guess is fact, I've researched it now, that Brigitte Macron, met Emmanuel Macron when he was like 14 or 15 years old, and she was teaching at some sort of a school for the arts, and he was a student. It's
correct.
And no one denies this.
That's not up for debate. That's not up for debate. The story that is completely 100% the real story is that when Emmanuel Macron was a kid, and there's some controversy. The official story was that he was 17, and this woman, who is like 35 years older than him, was his teacher, and they started an affair. Now, that's the official story.
Right.
Is
and in the U.S., it's like Mary Kay Letourneau. Like we are offended by this when teachers do this to boys.
France is
obviously
girls. France has more open is more open about sex and stuff, I guess.
So they don't deny that, but they frankly haven't denied that she was once a man.
Correct. That has not been denied, and they are still not denying it. And so now, and the other thing that's not in any doubt is that the president of France is suing in U.S. court. There is a lawsuit right now against a podcaster. Like, just
Candace
that
Owens,
statement is weird. Like, who knew that the president of a foreign country could sue a podcaster? Like, that's so bizarre.
But
it
so
really is bizarre.
if this is the case, it would sort of lend some explanation to why there's such a push to be woke and to not ask that question, to not say.
Right.
I mean, I don't. Where is the line here? Okay, so if you want to be accepted as a transitioned man or woman, right?
Right.
Are you just not allowed to ask or have any curiosity about the period of time? Like when you say, "Oh, where'd you go to high school? What sports were you in?" Well, I played baseball. Oh, you had a girls' baseball team? No, I was on the boys' baseball. So
Right.
what? Oh, you see what I mean? Like, but you're not allowed to. You're not allowed to ask that. There's no questions anymore. But podcasters can ask all the questions that they want. Obviously.
Yeah. My understanding with transgender people is that once you declare that you are now the other gender, like that almost like erases anything that happened before, and it's considered like in poor taste to ever point out, like if you're born male. And at some point you say, now I'm female. Apparently, to them, I'm speaking of what they would say, it's in poor taste to point out that I used to be a man. Like, I'm a woman now. I'm only a woman. I've always been a woman. And it's like rude almost to ask questions.
But if it's a matter of pride, why not be proud that, I figured out later that, yes, I was the prom king, and later I figured out that I was a woman, but you don't have to refer to me as the former prom queen. You can still call me the former prom king. You see what I'm saying?
Right.
Like, why can't you go back to your past and say, yeah, when I was a little girl or when I was a little boy? Now
Right.
I call myself a woman. That's fine. But this, obviously, this brings that whole woke thing to a whole nother level when two presidents of nuclear armed countries are
Right.
discussing whether or not someone is calling their wife a man on a podcast.
It's so crazy. I mean, I really can't wait to see this lawsuit. And like Tucker Carlson points out, by the way, I highly recommend for our listeners, go find this Tucker interview with Candace Owens.
Yes.
I just stumbled across it. I was driving 5 hours to New Jersey. I had to listen to something. I do like Tucker Carlson. I just went to the podcast. I go, oh, he's interviewing Candace Owens. I had no idea what they were talking about.
And he'll interview some nutty people. Like he will talk to some fringe people.
Totally. But I like her, and I don't consider her fringe. And I think I was vaguely aware that she was saying something weird about the president of France. And then once they started talking about it, first of all, the official French story has now been amended. It's no longer 17. Now the official story coming out of France is that he was 15 when they met. So I think now we're in like child molestation territory. A 15-year-old boy is a child, like by every standard of children. That's a child. So now we're talking about, even if the whole transitioning thing is bullshit, we're talking about a woman who's in her 40s or late 30s or whatever, however old she was, and is a teacher.
She'd have been about 40 when he was 15, so she would have had to have been 40.
And she's having sex with a 15-year-old boy? Like, that's insanity.
A boy that's in the same class as her daughter at the time.
Right. Like a sophomore in high school or a freshman.
It's like the world's supposed to shut up about it. Like, let's just not talk about that because he's the leader of France, But
and here's the other thing that really I found very interesting, because Candace Owens is being sued for defamation and also cyberbullying. But here's the point that she made, and this is an excellent point. If you're going to be sued for defamation, if you say they have to prove that you said an untrue thing on the air or on your podcast.
So you have to prove it's untrue.
And it has to be proven that you knew it was untrue and you said it anyway. She has correspondence that she sent to Macron's lawyer before she ever did the podcast. She sent the lawyer correspondence. She has that proof. She has those emails. Right. And she said, look, dude, I doubt she said dude, but she was like, sir, here's the allegations. This journalist says this, and this. Can you just answer these simple questions? Give us a picture of Brigitte as a young girl. Give us a picture of Brigitte as a teenage girl. Give us a picture of Brigitte when she was pregnant, when she was holding her children when they were
And
very
they
small,
couldn't.
and
if you
answer this
Google
question,
pictures of her
they
young,
do not
you
exist.
cannot find them. They
No.
do not exist.
There's a 30-year gap in Brigitte Macron, who is the first lady of France. I mean, that's a fact.
Well,
There's
she's
a
not the
30-year
first lady because he wanted her to be called the first lady. He wanted to change French law so that they had a first lady, and the parliament
What
said
is the
no.
French one called? What is it
Just
called?
the wife of the president.
The wife of the president?
They don't get.
Okay.
Yeah.
I guess they don't have first lady.
Yeah,
but
they don't
whatever,
get like Bagabi or anything like
right.
that.
Whatever her official title is, there is a 30-year gap in this woman's resume where no one can find anything about her, where she was, what she was doing. So this is a crazy, crazy story.
And they've done is shed more light on it.
They poured gasoline on a fire because now what started as a crazy fringe thing has gone way more I mean, if Barrett and Baxa is talking about it,
but
it just
we're
doesn't
mainstream. We are
doesn't
the
get
mainstream.
more- yes,
We're the new mainstream media right here.
We
at
are,
Barrett and
yes,
Baxa.
sir.
Okay,
Yeah,
so
that's a
also
good story.
so we kind of missed a whole week, but
Yeah.
I found myself that we're going to be talking about things that just happened in the week past because there's so much cool stuff like Sydney Sweeney being a Nazi. Now, this is crazy. Like
Yes.
all American Eagle did was dust off an ad campaign from Jordache jeans that Brooke Shields did way back in like the 80s, and they just gave it new life.
Yeah,
and
it
now
just had a different girl.
suddenly, okay, and this is how people are
Let me ask you
reacting.
this.
Yeah.
What were they? What do you think people? Why were they mad? Like, give me like a couple of sentence explanation. What do you think they were mad about?
So I think that the woke left is desperately trying to get control of speech and the narrative around blackness, whiteness, transness, all of their issues, the environment, and they've lost the narrative. They've lost the ability to kind of control it by insulting you and saying that you're not politically correct. We made fun of politically correct and said that's a dumb term and that's stupid to try and be PC. And then we're saying we're not going to be woke. Nobody's going to be woke. We're not doing all this DEI. Everything has to be about equality and so on and so forth. And I think this is a temper tantrum being thrown by them because they can't control the message, the speech.
Yeah, that's a good theory.
I want to play someone flipping out. This woman is absolutely flipping out.
All right, I've seen many of these. I don't know if I've seen this one, but there's a lot of good ones.
Yeah, this is a good one. This woman is just absolutely flipping out. She's standing in front of an American Eagle store.
Oh, I think I saw that. Okay.
So,
Don't forget to boycott American Eagle for their racist shit online, talking about blue jeans and white people. Boycott American Eagle. Boycott the shit out of them. Boycott American Eagle. Do not buy them. And cancel this person, Miss Sweeney. Cancel for her being racist, for doing Nazi propaganda. Cancel American Eagle.
I would love to ask that woman, how exactly is it racist? Like, what did she say that's racist?
nothing. Nothing. They're talking about jeans, and what's wrong with having good jeans? I mean, LeBron James clearly has far better jeans than I have. Like, to play basketball.
Allow him to play basketball.
Right?
Yeah. I mean, Tom Brady has really good genes, or else he would not be a good-looking, model-looking dude who also happens to be the greatest quarterback that has ever played. Like, that guy got some freaking good genes. Like, a lot of good
Tiger
quarterbacks
Woods has
are ugly.
incredible genes.
Yeah.
It's
very strange. I really think it is that you're not allowed to compliment white people. That is what I think it is to the modern left, white equals evil, and if you say anything positive about white people, that's racist. I've always wanted to say this on the podcast. I don't think I've ever said it. There's a meme on the internet, and it goes as follows. I'm a proud black man, said the black man. I'm a proud Asian man, said the Asian man. I'm a proud Hispanic man, said the Hispanic man. I'm a proud white man, said the racist. And that is clearly true. Like, that is the way they think.
Yeah.
If you say you're proud to be white, that's automatically racist. But why? Why are you allowed to be proud to be black, but you're not allowed to be proud to be white? And don't tell me it's because white people are wealthy. The wealthiest race in America is Indian, like from India. They are the wealthiest per capita. And then after them, it's Asians. Asians are wealthier than white people. White people are third. So why are you allowed to say, I'm a proud Indian man, and that's fine? And people go, oh, yeah, cool, he's from India. He's proud to be Indian.
Yeah.
Good for him.
Yeah,
but
white's
if you
the only
say
one
I'm a
that's
proud
not
white man, you're a racist. Like, F that. I'm a proud white man. F you if you don't like it. You're banned from our show. Don't.
I'm a
ever
proud
tune into this
Irishman.
show again. Yeah, me too. I'm Irish and Italian and what
Hey,
else?
hey! Before we leave the Sydney Sweeney, I just want to. This is a whole bunch of ads. Everybody talks about this as just an ad, but it's an ad campaign. I think this is the best one because this car is so awesome. If you're not watching on YouTube or on Spotify, you're watching video. You're just gonna have to bear with us for just a second here while I play this ad because they don't say much, but there's two reasons I want to play it. One is the Mustang, and two, to have Sydney Sweeney on our show. And this is probably the only time.
Oh, is this her?
Yeah,
Nice.
this is one of the ads right here. It's really good. Wait,
Wow,
hang
look
on.
at her.
Sydney Sweeney, Hasbro Jeans.
Did they really let her drive the car in that
This
little
is why
studio?
I wanted to play it because I want to
cool.
know. Do you think she got in the car and did that?
No. I
Or
do not
maybe
think
it was
that
remote
done with-
control. Somebody was inside ducking down
Probably.
or something.
Yeah, or that was just done with AI.
That
or
GT350,
something.
man, that is
Yeah.
one of the baddest
An awesome
automobiles ever made.
Absolutely.
I love
You
that
used to have a
Mustang.
Mustang. You didn't have that one.
Nothing like that.
That
No,
one's
I
worth
never-
like $1 million if you get a mint one. Maybe not that much, but a lot.
A lot of money. A lot of
that
money.
car is awesome. Yeah, very cool.
Okay, so now we're going to move on, Bob, and talk about the Cincinnati Beatdown.
Yeah, this was crazy. And this is another anti-white thing, I believe. It's kind of in the same sort of
Okay.
anti-white category as Sydney Sweeney.
Well, I want to, from a Schmedia perspective, I want to point something out. I'm going to share a screen. Everybody knows what we're talking about, which is
at this point.
this brutal beating that happened in downtown Cincinnati during some event, and there weren't enough police on hand, and so on and so forth. And this fight gets started. There's all this incredible video of it. But I want to show you what WLWT Channel 5, which is the NBC affiliate. I'm going to share this, and I just want to show you something, Bob. I know somebody in the Cincinnati area, and they were I talked to them the other day, a little upset about how the local media is covering this, and they don't think they're covering it enough. And one of the things that popped for me immediately was this local story. I called up and started looking at some of these stories.
Okay.
Take a look and tell me if you notice anything odd about the video that they're using here.
She says the fugitive apprehension unit is actively looking right now for the other three. She also clarified the number of police officers working in the Central Business District at the time of the assault, saying there were 11. As we reported yesterday, Mayor Abtab Puravel accepted help from Governor Mike.
Okay.
Yeah,
Bob?
that's bullshit. You see none of the actual punches that are thrown.
Right. They're
fuck?
they're using like these wide shots from down the street, and I think they're
Right.
even blurring them out.
Yes.
Do they not want the viewers to see what actually happened there? I mean,
Clearly, because black people are behaving badly. That is the bottom line. In this event,
Okay.
there's a ton of black people behaving badly, and the TV stations do not want to show evidence of black people behaving badly. That's
Okay.
a fact.
Well,
And
let me
that's,
show you
I
some
say,
video
why they're
that
doing
I don't
that.
think you have seen yet, Bob.
Okay.
I'm going to show you another piece of video here in a moment, and I don't think you've seen it. It's an angle that you have not seen, and this is, I'd say, about 30 to 60 seconds before the real fighting began.
Okay.
This is the guy.
Yeah, that's the guy. That's the white guy.
The guy in white.
He seems drunk.
Yeah, and look,
He just got kicked.
Yeah. So look how
So
long
he-
this goes on, though, Bob.
Yeah.
He
They're
is
squaring
not.
up.
He's not walking away.
Right.
You see, he could walk away right now. That guy in the
Right.
white shirt, the bald white guy, could walk away.
True.
He doesn't do
But
it.
he got kicked in that video. He already
He's,
got kicked.
he's not all, and that is the slap.
That's the famous slap. But the kick came before the slap. So he was kicked by that black dude. Now, I'm not saying he has to then slap somebody. And plus, I don't even think he slapped the same guy who kicked him.
But-
it's hard to see.
But Bob,
what's
if I'm a
going on.
police officer and I'm a prosecutor, I'm looking at that piece of video right there, and I'm saying this guy was willingly participating in some violence. He had his dukes up. He was standing there getting ready to fight. I mean,
Yeah.
I've been I don't think from any fault of my own. I think it's because every time I moved to a new town, everybody wanted to beat me up. So I've been in plenty of fights, and I know the difference between wanting to participate and having to participate for your own defense. This guy wanted to participate in some fighting. Now, the woman who gets knocked out for trying to break it all up and some of the other people, I don't know about that. But in my opinion, that guy in the white shirt is willingly participating with multiple people. So he knows that I'm now sparring with multiple people. So now when multiple people come after me, you were taking swings at multiple people. So now you have multiple people taking swings back at you.
Okay, and once you're knocked on the ground, does anyone then, you're on the ground, you're covering your head on the ground.
Yeah.
What happens when another guy comes up and kicks you in the head on the ground?
Yes,
That's
in the
attempted
schoolyard,
murder.
that's uncool. And
That's
that is
attempted murder on the street.
You're right.
I say that's attempted murder.
Yes.
Once you're not, if a guy punches you, okay, you punch him back, you knock him out. He's laying on the ground. If you then go up to his prone body and kick him in the face on the ground, you go to prison for attempted murder. You can't keep going. It's
Bob, I don't
proportionate.
disagree with any of that. All I'm
You're
saying
allowed proportionate.
is that bald guy in the white shirt was there, ready to fight, willingly
Yes, I agree
fighting
with
with
that.
other
Okay.
people. So that one particular guy, I didn't see. I don't know.
Now there's 4 other guys. You know, there's 5 victims.
Right,
Actually,
and
6.
and you saw a couple of
including
those
the woman.
guys. You saw the one guy in the black shirt. He also had his hands up, and he was ready to fight. So
He's a white guy too?
yeah, he's
guy
a
in
white
the
guy
black-
too.
You're listening to Barrett and Baxa, Media Schmedia. Real stories, raw takes, and the slow, strange death of traditional media.
I'm Rico Monaco. The music you hear on Barrett and Baxa show intros and breaks, that's me. I'm a full-time musician and the founder of Rickman Music School, where I also teach private guitar lessons. I have pro instructors for piano, voice, drums, percussion, horns, violin, and more, available in your home in the Central Florida area, in studio, or online. I have created a proven guitar method based on music theory and technique with custom designed worksheets and videos that guide students step by step. If you practice just 30 minutes a day, 5 days a week, you'll absolutely improve. My system works for busy professionals, kids, and hobbyists. It's efficient, fun, and built to help you grow into the best musician you can be. Learn, improve, love music more than ever. Check out Rickman Music School today.
So now Kamala is writing her own book, Bob.
Yeah, I saw that. 107
Did
days.
you see?
So,
did you see the
even
videos
the
of her
title
trying
is
to
blank.
roll out her video or her book?
No,
It's
I don't
so
think I
dumb.
saw that.
Talk about dumb
let's see.
Democrat tricks, stupid Democrat
Right.
tricks.
Right.
No, what are your thoughts on her book?
It's ridiculous. I mean, even the title of the book is her trying to make an excuse. 107 days is obviously a reference to the fact that she only had 107 days to campaign. But the thing is, we know how she would do in a real primary because she
never would have
ran
made
for
it
president.
in a real
Everyone, right? Everyone forgets the fact that she ran for president back in 2020. She was running against Joe Biden.
Mm-hmm.
The whole reason Joe Biden picked her is because he said it himself. He wanted a black woman. I mean, he says the thing about Joe Biden is he says the quiet part out loud. Right. He did it with the Supreme Court justice, and he did it with Kamala Harris. He said, I'm going to pick a black woman. Like, it's not like we're guessing. But she did not even get enough votes to make it out of Iowa. She lost. She never made it to the California primary. Mm-hmm. The people rejected her. So whether she had 107 days or 1,700
Do we know
days,
how much money she got for this book? I wonder.
I don't know. More than it's worth.
Yeah, that's sure. Absolutely. But I thought the funniest part was how she rolled it out, how she told everyone that she was writing a book. Watch this.
What did she do? I don't think I saw that.
Dude, if you didn't see this, you have to see it.
All right, let me see.
This is best seen and not just heard, but if you can only hear it, I'll describe it after. Basically, Kamala Harris is sitting in a bookstore or a library of some kind, and she's trying to talk to herself or talk to the books.
Oh,
and she's sitting
I think I heard
sideways
about
in a
this.
weird way. All right, let's give this a watch.
Okay, yeah. What is this?
Hang on.
Been kicking back. Everyone thinks you've been kicking back, drinking margaritas on the beach. But really, you've been hard at work writing a book, meeting with leaders, thinking about the future of our country. Who said that? Everyone thinks you've been...
All right, wait a minute. Hang on.
Is that not the weirdest thing?
What is she? What is she supposed to be?
I don't even know.
Is she supposed to be like? If you're the guy who came up with that,
who's she
what
talking
is the pitch?
to? Is she talking to the books?
Is she pretending?
Or is she talking to
I don't
herself? Is she supposed to be looking in a mirror?
I don't know. Here's the thing about me. I always know, I go, oh, what they were going for was XYZ. Clearly they failed, but I know that this is what they were going for. I honestly, I have no idea what was she going for.
She clearly missed the mark, but we have no idea what mark.
I don't know what the mark is. What is the mark? I honestly don't know. Is she having a pretend conversation with herself?
I think it's more just.
I
think Kamala Harris probably came up with that idea herself, and no one. Everyone on her staff is probably afraid of her, and so they won't say that kind of looks dumb. Or maybe she just took her phone into the library and did it herself and decided that this is going to be it.
I mean, she was clearly saying what she thinks people have been saying, because it says everyone thinks she's kicked back drinking margaritas, but I honestly don't know who she's supposedly talking to.
I know.
That is very weird. Very weird.
All right,
I'm glad I saw that.
We missed some things when we stopped to interview Bob Jordan, and we skipped a week. Hunter losing his shit on that podcast. That was hilarious, that was and I would love it if Hunter Biden did more of that. He should do much more of that.
He's not doing the Democrats any favors because he's just reminding everyone of how much Joe Biden sucks and how he was never in charge. But I don't blame the guy. Is just trying to stick up for his father, and they definitely feel like they were screwed. The Biden family feels like they were screwed by the Democrats, which they were. I mean, let's face it, they were pushed out. The whole
you
thing
think Hunter will
weird.
keep doing those interviews, or do you think that was like a one-off? It was like a real quick blast of anger from him, and he'll stop now. He did two of them, two podcasts.
Yeah, I think to answer your question, I think he will do more. Chuck Todd was criticizing the people who platformed him, which made me laugh because it's not almost like Hunter can't control himself. It's your fault for putting him on. Yeah. It's the fault of the podcaster, which I thought that was kind of funny.
And what podcaster would not put Hunter? I mean, if Hunter Biden called me right now, I would cut it off with you and go, yes, Hunter, you don't want Baxa on the podcast with me? Okay, I'll do it all by myself. I'd do whatever Hunter wanted to have Hunter on the podcast. Maybe I'm going to reach out, see if we can get him on the B&B. All right.
Like your Facebook friend Patrick Pegues wants you to get rid of me. He does.
There are
not
plenty
like
of people
me.
who
I
would
saw
like
that.
to be the
Yes.
Barrett Media
And not
Schmedia
Baxa.
podcast.
Barrett without Baxa. Media
No, that would
Schmedia.
never work. I'd never do that. So public
Right.
broadcasting has been defunded, which is only like
Good.
1% of their funding anyway. But and
Right.
everybody's bitching about it. But I think it's hilarious that like immediately they fold. Like they're like, oh, the Corporation
Right.
for Public Broadcasting, bang, we're closing the doors. Goodbye.
And their leftist propaganda, they had that famous article where the guy in Washington, and he got in trouble, and he's on the left. He looked around the newsroom and he counted, and he saw that there were 85. First of all, the fact that there's 85 editors at NPR just is off the charts,
Right.
ridiculous. They're in just the Washington bureau,
And that
like,
none of
ABC
them
News
are
doesn't have
conservative.
and none
Not
of them
one
were
of them.
conservative. 100% liberal. And here's the thing, if you want public broadcasting, then you pay for it. It's very simple. Let them become a streaming service like Netflix, and you pay for it. I'm not paying for your Netflix. I'm not paying for your PBS. It's very simple. Or they can sell advertising and make money like that. There's two options for them right there. They don't have to go away. So.
All right, as long as we're moving through the quickies, another Florida man history here, recent history. But
Right.
check this out, Bob. This is a house that was not hit by a tornado, but you would think that it is. Let me show you this.
Okay.
Well, John Luann, this is the kind of destruction we're used to seeing with tornadoes, hurricanes, an explosion even. Fortunately, we are told no one was inside at the time of all this. But to answer your question, according to law enforcement, they have no leads on who did this or why. There may be...
Look at that house, Bob.
Okay, so this was a guy's girlfriend, right? It was like a scorned girlfriend.
Yeah, something like that. I think there's some kind of a lover's quarrel going on here. And so this is a woman, and somebody just took like a backhoe and just tore her house to pieces. It's only in Florida. This is one of those Florida things that only happens in Florida.
When I was single, when I was at Channel 9 and I was single, and I used to talk all the time, I would be like talking with Greg and Vanessa about how when you're a single guy and you go on a date, like you have no idea if that woman you're out on a first date with, she might have a crazy ex who said to himself, the next guy I see her with, I'm killing him.
Right.
Like we had stories all the time where the ex-husband beat the crap out of the guy who, of course, he knows nothing about any of this. He's just a guy who went on Tinder, he met a woman, he met her for drinks on a first date. The ex-husband stalking her and beats the shit out of this new guy who has nothing to do with it. And that was like always my nightmare. Like, I don't know if
you don't want to be in a love
crazy
triangle.
Ex-husband.
Yeah.
No, it's you.
I saw a guy, and I actually saw the pictures and video of him sitting in his driveway. He, in the middle of the night, the wife and the boyfriend came in, and the husband was sleeping in his bed. They took a samurai sword and essentially just chopped him with a samurai sword until he was sitting literally out in the driveway with the insides of his body hanging in his arms. This guy, the pictures were of this guy, and his intestines are in his arms as he sits there. And a neighbor called 911 for this guy, and he survived. He survived to say, I woke up to my wife and her boyfriend, her new boyfriend chopping me up in the middle of the night. Or it wasn't the middle of the night. This happened in broad daylight, like 6 o'clock in the morning, 7 o'clock in the morning. So,
wow. Crazy.
You never know what Florida man's going to do. All right, speaking of...
That is true.
So, let's see. The White House ballroom, Bob. What are your thoughts?
Yes. Well, we talked about this a little bit in the beginning. The headline in CNN said Trump's plans for the White House ballroom enrage his critics. And like I was saying before, what thing that Trump does not enrage? Like, you become enraged about everything. And this is the thing. We have long ago gotten bored with your rage. Like, we don't care about your rage. We know that you're enraged. You're enraged because you hate Trump.
And they say enraged. Is there someone standing screaming on a corner? Like, if you're enraged, you're like, ah! Now, we do have a guy coming up who is enraged, but that is not. So, And then what I like,
It seems like a weird thing to
what
be
I like,
enraged about.
if you listen to the liberal media, they say, "Oh, and he's making it look just like Mar-a-Lago. Can you believe it?" And if you listen to the media on the right, they're saying, "Oh, he's going to make it look just like Mar-a-Lago. How beautiful is that going to be? That's going to be fantastic if he makes it like the Mar-a-Lago ballroom." So
Right. I tend to think it will be cheesy. Trump has horrible taste. I mean, I'm the first to say the Oval Office looks horrible. There's way too much gold. I don't know what Trump's obsession with gold is. That is lame. I am capable of criticizing Donald Trump. His taste in decor is horrible. I mean, years ago they did a tour of his apartment at Trump Tower, and there's literally a gold like the toilet I think is made out of actual gold, and that. You don't need
Mar-a-Lago's
a
gaudy looking. I've been inside. It's very gaudy.
I would imagine, but Trump's paying for it himself. That's the thing. He's paying for the ballroom himself. So I don't see what the big problem is. I don't know why. I think they're enraged because everything Trump does enrages them.
All right, Bob, look at your screen. I'm going to share a headline with you real quick. What do you think of this headline from the LA Times? Read that out loud.
July is the worst month for drug overdose deaths. Is heat to blame? And I can say no, heat is not to blame. Drugs are to blame. What's to blame for drug overdoses is drugs. So yeah, it's not because of the heat. I assume that's trying to do like a climate type thing.
Yeah, I think
like
they're doing
everything has to be.
But it's like if you get drunk on a boat and fall off and drown, is the water to blame?
The water is to blame.
If you wander into the desert, you smoke a
drowning.
big joint and go wandering into the desert, and you're too stoned to turn around and come back, and you die from thirst. Is that the desert is to blame?
The desert is to blame.
The desert is to blame for that.
It is not the heat, it's the drugs. So, no, heat has nothing to do with it. And the climate change is not responsible for people having drug overdose deaths. So,
all right.
No.
Well, Bob, before we move on to pet peeves, I want to do one more share. This is our Florida Man history, another Florida Man history. I'm going to share this, and this is going to remind you who Caitlin Bennett is. And I know that you love her. You do.
Right,
you do like her very much. Here we go.
All I need to know is you're a Trump supporter, and that tells me everything, honey.
You know nothing about me.
That's all I need to know. You're evil. Now go.
How am I evil? No.
Support a pedophile, you weird, sick
pedophile?
bitch.
What's my name?
I don't need to know your name to know that you're part of a cult trying to overthrow the government. You're an inbred dumbass. Get the fuck out of my face with that, or I'm gonna grab it and throw it on the fucking ground. If you get 1 inch closer. Trumpsters are pussies unless they're in law.
I know. I love when
I'm going to find him, and we're going to get him on the show to debate
I would love, yes. I love when they say that we are in a cult. They are the most cult-like group of people. The Trump derangement cult is absolutely a cult. And here's how I know. Ask yourself, if you hate Trump, ask yourself these two questions. Has Donald Trump ever done something correctly in his life? And then question number 2, has Donald Trump ever done something good in his life? We both know you answered no to both questions. You are in the cult. You guys are the cult members. You cannot ever say, I criticize Trump all the time. You never say that Trump did something correctly, ever. It's always the wrong thing. If Trump flipped a coin, the law of averages would go out the window, and Trump would manage to flip the wrong. It would be managed to be wrong 100% of the time. That's how you feel about Trump. He's always wrong, no matter what. By definition, if it's said by Trump, it's wrong. You're in the cult, not us.
All right, Bob. Is that going to be your pet peeve then for today?
No, I have a good pet peeve, but go do yours first, and then I got a good one from the game last night.
My pet peeve is these little things on Facebook where they tell you, oh, you need to post this or post a picture of that, post a picture of your dog, to raise awareness for dogs everywhere. And so someone started this with journalists. I'll share screen. And I kind of made fun of it. This is my Facebook page. Everybody can look at. And
look at you with the mustache.
There's me with a mustache back with my camera.
Nice.
That's an old. I think that's that's an old Beta cam. Anyway,
Nice.
but so here's what the post is supposed to read: To all professionals and retirees in the journalism, film, television, theater, entertainment, and arts world, join the challenge. Ooh, it's a challenge. Join the challenge to post a photo of yourself in your job. Just a picture, no description. The goal is to flood social media with our profession. Copy the text and post a pic on your page. Like, the goal is to flood social media with our profession. Why would we want to do that?
I don't know. That is very dumb. Yeah, that's dumb.
So
I don't understand.
My pet peeve this week is dumb trends that now journalists are supposed to like post something like that. And I did it. See, I followed the dumbass trend.
Yes, you did. All right, my pet peeve is when you're at an event and there's tons of people.
Like a baseball game?
There's like a baseball game. And there's clearly an area that's for the walking, where everyone is moving in a direction. And then there's lots of room where you can go over to the side and stop, and you could eat, you could talk, you could check your phone on either side. And the middle part is obviously for walking. Everyone agrees this part's for moving, and there inevitably will be a group of people that stop in the middle of that part and just stand there and talk to each other, blocking everything. It causes a giant traffic jam. All you have to do is move over 2 feet to this area, and the people can still walk. So people who stop in the walking area are my pet peeve for today.
That does get annoying. I've seen that before. Yes. And it happens in restaurants too. People, instead of getting out of the way, they just stand right there in the door.
Like right in the door. That's it. Yeah. Or when you're walking into a store, someone will stop in the doorway. Like, this is where you had to stop. Like, you couldn't walk in and go over to the side. So yes, this happens in lots of places.
All right. Well, that is pet peeves. So that kind of marks the end of the show. But we want to invite everybody to like us, comment, subscribe, YouTube, Rumble, Spotify, Apple Podcasts. So kind of wherever you can find your podcasts, find us. Barrett and Baxa Media Schmedia. Please leave us some comments. Email us at barrettandbaxa@gmail.com if you want to do that. Otherwise, if you have nothing else to say, Bob, I think we can let our fine folks go.
All right. We'll see you next week.
Well, that's it for this episode of Barrett and Baxa Media Schmedia. Like, subscribe, and do all that other stuff podcasts want you to do. Become one of the chosen few, the in crowd. You know, the cool kids. The ones who were passed out on Barrett's pool deck long after the party ended.
You don't say I love you like you used to before.